Oh my goodness.
Nilfgaard had the upper hand.
Glad that's
The
over.
black-clad spirits had suffered. They now made more use of shields than of swords. When Meve finally broke through their line, they raised their arms in surrender. Rivia Castle had fallen. It was hers once more.
Trocker! Nein zu wien!
Meve showed her prisoners of war mercy, knowing full well they'd only followed orders. Death would be the fate of only Ardal ep Dahi, the one Nilfgaardian who'd issued those commands. Alas, the general had disappeared. A prisoner revealed ep Dahi had fled
ran?
as soon as the Lyrians had surged towards the upper keep. He had glided down to the lower castle in a wicker basket for transporting food. Curled up beneath potato skins and other scraps, he'd scurried away not unlike a common maggot. Meve cursed her luck and leaned back against a merlin. Dawn was yet a few hours off, but the horizon had already begun to glow blood red. The Nilfgaardian reserves now drew near, too late to prevent the castle's fall.
I'll get him,
muttered the queen, more to herself than anyone else.
I swear on all that's sacred I'll catch the bastard. But now we've a pressing matter to see to. Preparing the defense.
That night the war turned, with the battle for Rivia Castle as its fulcrum. Meve's great victory, not only retaking the stronghold in a single evening, but also fending off a further invading army, proved the Nilfgaardian Colossus had feet of clay.
Yes.
The armies of the north had united and now seemed to be on the attack everywhere. Imperial forces, while still far more numerous, lay stretched over thousands of miles. Their position was untenable, and Nilfgaard's commanders knew this. In a decisive battle, they yet stood a chance, so they gave said battle, and suffered a resounding defeat. Just a few months on from that memorable night in Rivia, the Imperial army was in utter disarray. Aldersburg, the fortress, remained a last point of resistance. General ep Dahi and what had survived of Army Group East had dug in there, this place, where Nilfgaard had triumphed grandly in the war's early days, would now bear witness to its impending defeat. It seems history, after all, has a sense of justice, or humor, or both. Though Meve had already reclaimed her realm, she refused to retire her sword just yet. For King Demavend had requested her aid in purging Edirn of the invader. How could she refuse? She owed the king a favor, firstly. Yet she also had a burning desire to settle the score with ep Dahi.
Demavend's envoy and I spoke, Your Majesty. The king has Aldersburg surrounded. He awaits and won't begin the assault till you arrive.
Good. I truly hate to miss it. Tell the troops to prepare. Gear and ire.
Of course, Your Grace.
Yes? Is there something else?
Pardon my boldness, Your Grace, but I can't help but be concerned. You don't sleep. You've the air of illness about you.
Reynard, I just buried my son, who died in my arms, God damn it.
Yes. Died a hero. Your Majesty, I wasn't sure Willem could ever wash away the shame. He'd betrayed his country, his mother, aligned with the fiercest of our foes. But his actions in Rivia washed away his wrongs. Willem showed himself worthy to be called your son. I don't say any of this to deepen your grief, Your Majesty. I mean merely for you to be proud of him.
You're right, Reynard. I don't think it was our fault. Willem chose. He made his own decisions.
You're right. I thank you, Reynard. That I needed to hear. We've talked enough. We must march on to Aldersburg.
Your Grace, if I may. Some of our comrades in arms would like a word with you. The war nears its end. Paths are likely to diverge.
I see. Thank you.
To all soldiers. All soldiers in service of the Nilfgaard Empire are hereby ordered to promptly head to Aldersburg. The defense of this castle is vital for our planned counteroffensive. Failure to comply with this order will result in punishment of particular severity. Duke Ardal ep Dahi. Alright, where am I supposed to go? Anything up here? I do not see anything. Oh, looks like we got some reports. Enemy armies in tatters fleeing south towards border. Movements chaotic, uncoordinated, suggest no contact with command. Scoia'tael commandos also in retreat to east towards Dol Lathana. Without Nilfgaardian support, elves slaughtered by Adarians were never caught. Emperor preparing for peace summit. Reports indicate willingness to make far-reaching concessions. Last bastion of enemy resistance. Fortress in Aldersburg. Remaining troops guarding it led by General Ardal ep Dahi. He refuses all calls to capitulate. Gosh darn it, in these words that I cannot pronounce for some darn reason. Your Highness, we deeply regret to inform you that Captain Tobias, who provided us with invaluable information from the Nilfgaardian occupied capital, was unmasked and beheaded. Oh, man. After 3 days of intensive torture. While leaving the city, the invaders took with them his family, a wife and 2 children, 12 and 7 years of age. Their fate remains unknown. Dang, that's dark. Battle of Brenna. Your Majesty, good tidings from the Western Front. The combined forces of Temeria, Cadwin, and Redania have soundly defeated the Nilfgaardians at Brenna. The Empire lost nearly 40,000 soldiers, and Marshal Cohorn has vanished without a trace. Army Group Center is in disarray, and King Foltest is forcing the enemy from Temerian lands. The Emperor has expressed readiness for truce negotiations. Victory is close at hand. Okay, we got a letter from Bruver. Well, well, you beautifully showed boot leather to the Nilfgaardian arse. Bawbags kicked up quite the dust cloud when they turned tail, damn near choked on it clear atop Mount Carbon. Proud to say Mahakam's volunteers played no small part. Still, I owe credit where credit's due. Congratulations, Meave, truly. That Dunderheed Emperor will think twice afore stepping foot through the Pontar ever again. Hoo-hoo-ha, Bruver. Hoog. Alright. Guess we still got some stuff going on.
Meave, Slayer of the Blacklands, long live the Queen! Just watch and wait. I wager you'll chase the Emperor himself off the throne. They say war's a man's affair, but you showed them a lady. They say war's a man's affair, but you showed them a lady.
Oh, get him.
The Lyrian army had grown into a great serpent. So much so that riding at the column's tail, Meave could not see its head. Footmen, cavalry, and archers stretched like a glistening snake between 2 horizons. Meave had come a long way indeed, and she felt proud. Suddenly, Meave heard angry cries and the clash of steel against steel, all at the column's front.
Close ranks! To the left! Man's left! Support the flank!
Meave drew her sword, spurred her horse, and galloped forward along the line of troops. Then, through the swirling battle dust, she spotted shimmering golden suns.
Oh, let's do this. Meave drew her sword, yet did not rush headlong into the heat of battle as she once would have. Old wounds and lasting trauma still nagged her, and besides, enough blood had already been split. The queen awaited the day when she would finally exchange her heavy armor for an elegant dress and her saddle for a throne. Oh, wonder if this deck's gonna work for this fight. Alright. Shortened battle. We don't need all of these guys. Got a bomber, that's nice. Come on, okay. 2 of those will work. Do I really need this guy? Right now.
Surround
That
them!
worked.
Scrubbing duty again? Oh god.
Once an ally is destroyed, flee the battlefield?
Alright, that's no
this?
problem.
Well, I guess so. They just hightailed, booked it out of there. Just went invis on me. Okay. Shuffle one of these guys back in. And let's now do a bomber. And a ballista.
This could hurt. New orders? No?
Of course, he puts them up front.
Must be an important lesson in this. But what?
Are you guys not learning yet? I'm just gonna take him out every turn. Oh, and Knickers hasn't raided my beer yet. Good dog.
101, 102, 103.
Good dog. Okay. That's a little more.
The Morrowind drink with our forefathers! Infiltrate!
Right?
Ah!
What should I bring out? Just bring out 2 of these.
Hey! Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
Bring him back for the hell of it.
Discipline shall bring us victory.
I don't think he's winning this.
The Commissar will hear.
But I'd rather be sure. Oh, what? Oh, he had two. I probably could have just... Alright, I see.
For you, pal! Anything.
I don't even have two trinkets to play, but that's alright.
Scheiß! In train!
Yeah, we won this.
Mercy!
Turn tail, run with all the others.
Normally disciplined, determined to an extreme, these Nilfgaardians quickly broke rank and ran.
Deserters, leaderless, Your Grace.
A scout reported.
Headed south they was, towards the frontier.
Chained prisoners now sat along the dusty road. Neve stopped in front of one. He was ragged and unshaven. Flies had taken an interest in his poorly bandaged hand. Spotting the Queen, he lowered his head and quivered with terror.
I know you take us for savages,
Began Meve, her gaze passing over several scraggy black-clads.
but fear not. We shan't flay you alive nor eat you for dinner. And when a truce is signed, you'll be sent home, where I most sincerely hope you'll stay this time.
As the Queen mounted her horse, she barely concealed a grimace. Her thighs were sore and chafed, her hands raw from the reins. But she bit her lip and rode on, for the prize was now very near.
Okay.
Was in Aldersburg when it fell. Broke my heart, that did. But not complete. Now we'll take it back.
How do you get that? We must have to go around.
Other kings could learn a thing or two from you, Your Majesty. Fight on! It was we who were to offer Lyria our aid. Things got turned right round. Was in Aldersburg when it fell. Broke my heart, that did. But not complete. Now we'll take it back. It was we who were to offer Lyria our aid. Things got turned right round.
My lady, as you can see, the residents of Aedirn are giving their every effort to rebuild the ruined homes, yet they lack the proper materials. They ask if you are willing to trade lumber in exchange for items they've scavenged from nearby battlefields. What shall I tell them? Sure. I'm assuming we're almost done, so what am I going to do with these resources? Definitely not going to unlock everything, that's for sure.
Neve was listening to a scout's report when screams suddenly burst from the prisoner transport. In a moment, Neve bore witness to a truly macabre sight. The Nilfgaardian captives to whom she had recently been merciful lay dead, massacred in cold blood among the camp's tents.
Wow. Did their own people kill them?
Blast it all.
Seethed the Queen, looking at the bloodied corpses. Those responsible for the deed, peasants from the quarry at Ravencloft, Neve had welcomed into her ranks. The harm they'd endured from Nilfgaardians wielding whips, this was what had festered in their hearts and minds. The Rivians couldn't accept that their oppressors had gone unpunished. So they took matters into their own hands in defiance of the Queen.
There's fiends, not
The
folk,
locals.
Cried the peasants, now armed and in uniform.
There was old this, plain and simple.
Wow.
It had been justice by a mob, and Meve knew it should not go unpunished. Yet at the last, ignoring her advisor's counsel, she left the former slaves' fate for their commanders to decide. For the Queen had grown weary of choosing between two evils, each one darker than the other.
That's all we've done this game. Man, choose one evil for a different evil. That's awesome. We didn't have to make that decision. The war nears its end and the Blackclads flee with tails between their legs. The time has come to raise our homeland from the ash and rubble. To those who yet live, take up hammer, saw, and axe, roll your sleeves, and set to work. The nation is building its home.
All's left is to drive the Blackclads from Aldersburg, and there was one. Our Demoven's not bad, but he don't hold a candle to me. All's left is to drive the Blackclads from Aldersburg, and there was one.
Yep, alright, that's how we get back here. Wow, I'm actually getting some resources on this map now that the game's over. Because I'm pretty sure this is the end. How'd I get back here? Over here? Dang, look at these graves. Yeah, what are you doing? Figure it out. Where am I supposed to be going? So I came around here. So, need to cross that bridge right above us. Make sure there's no... Yep, there's resources over here. Look at that.
The good mothers guided you to victory. Nilfgaard angered the gods. Too much pride in them, not enough humility. The entire North owes you thanks, milady. And you, the gods. The good mothers guided you to victory.
A new cemetery, one of many that have appeared in the area. Most of the dead have not been identified, their graves unnamed. Our soldiers have requested that we light candles in their honor. Are you willing to set aside a sum for our coffers for this purpose, Your Grace? Let's do it. You guys don't have anything to say? Okay.
Meve noticed one of her scouts, a certain Corporal Larkin, halt his mount and train his gaze on the woods.
Your Grace, I thought I heard something. Could have sworn. A whisper, maybe, but... Nothing now. It's all gone quiet. I think I might have imagined it, in fact.
Imagined?
Meve placed her hand on his shoulder.
No one has sharper senses than you. If you claim to have heard something, it's worth a closer look.
Oh, snap.
Corporal Larkin saluted, then rode past the trees. Suddenly in shadow, he keenly scanned his surroundings. Something caught his attention. He dismounted, then brushed aside ferns, exposing tracks made in the mud.
Your Majesty!
He shouted, quickly turning towards the road.
Sound the alarm! It's squared!
An arrow whisked through the air, pierced his throat, and suddenly silenced him. Then the forest came alive with cries in the Elder tongue. Elves on the attack.
Scoia'tael. What in the world? Oh, we were done with these guys. Meve cursed under her breath. Did Scoia'tael hatred know no bounds? The war has already been lost. Nilfgaard, who had supported their cause against the northern kingdoms, had retreated beyond the Yaruga. By attacking the Queen's army, the elves must have known there stood nothing to gain, that is, other than the heads of enemy Dwoin, however that's pronounced. shorten battle. Okay, need to remember that. Throw it all at him. Don't need knickers. Don't really need that guy.
It's a trap! 2 arms!
Special price. Just for you, love.
What in the world? Okay. I'm gonna get that out ASAP. Change this guy out.
This could hurt.
These ballistas are too cool. Every turn.
Nay.
If you can get these played early, they'll keep the board wiped. Plain elf.
All right.
I mean, a dwarf. We're fighting elves.
Let us sing the song of steel.
Well, let's spin that on him. Oh, I can't target knickers. Spin that on him as well. Destroy a damaged unit. Well, that's not happening.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
I shall not fail.
9.
Hey?
None shall tread on us.
And something I don't think I've mentioned enough. This music is so good. Oh, I can't move him anymore. Three. Two. 1. Move it anyways.
Water and some poison.
Oh, my little lay.
Death is only the beginning.
3. I'm gonna just beat him up and then re-heal him. Or my beer
The
will
storm is
re-heal him.
coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
things were about to get dull. Your tricks will not save you, Dwan.
Dwan. That is how you pronounce it. But anyways, my tricks have saved me, bro. Sure.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
You boosted my unit. That's cool.